7 yards. I love when a gun comes in butcher paper.
This is a fantastic gun.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining us on the Concealed Carry channel. I am Grant McLean. I am very excited to share this awesome review of the Smith Wesson 327 8-shot Performance Center 357 Magnum snub nose revolver. This is a gun I have been searching for and trying to get into my hands for a long time, and finally got it, and it is awesome. Anyways, before we jump into this review, click the little like button, bam bam, give it the thumbs up, make sure that we get up in the rankings of YouTube, and that helps out the channel a lot. So if you support the gun community, you support Concealed Carry channel, you support everything to do with guns, you just like guns in general, hit the thumbs up. Of course, make sure to throw a comment in the comment box there, something awesome or whatever. I definitely want to hear from you if this is a gun that you've considered, and if you have any questions on this gun as well. Do want to say thank you so much to the folks over at Northwest Armory. They have been amazing in supporting the channel, making sure that I can get guns on the channel, go down the range, do all the fun stuff, make sure I get good, relevant information back to you so you can make a well-educated decision on if these items we put on the channel are going to be a good fit for you. So if you do need to get a gun, visit nwarmory.com. You can order it there, have it shipped to your local FFL, or you can go into the store. Of course, if you go to the store, tell them that Grant McLean over at the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. Say hi to Khaki, because he's such a good doggy, and they're going to take very good care of you. I also want to say thank you so much to the folks over at X Hunt Target. They have been awesome to work with and supporting the channel with targets as well, and the precision targets that we use on the channel, as you'll see when I go over the range footage, reactive targets, they're awesome. So visit xhunttargets.com if you want to order up some of those. I think you'll really like them. And I want to say thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for your support in the channel, supporting my caffeine addiction, supporting my ammo, supporting my range time, supporting the ability for me to purchase these guns and get down there and do some awesome footage and great content for you. So thank you so much for our Patreon supporters. If you would like to help support the channel and to help us continue doing what we are doing here on the channel, go ahead and go down to the description. It is the top link below, and it'll take you to our Patreon channel, and you can become a Patreon supporter and help us in any way you can. It is greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump into this awesome Smith & Wesson 327 Performance Center revolver. Comes in the big plastic box that you get with a lot of the Performance Center guns. Not all of them, but you get it with a lot of them. I like this because you can lock it up, and it'll save you some money from having to buy like a range bag or like an extra pistol bag. I love this. I love when a gun comes in butcher paper. How awesome is that? There she is. Ooh. Beautiful. This gun is a work of art. Work of art. And my favorite part about this gun is the sound. Listen to this. Oh, when you put it into single action there, ooh. Ooh. Love that sound. Okay, I gotta put this aside. Finish up telling you what's in the box. So if you were to buy this, obviously, you're gonna find a gun, butcher paper, great. You're gonna find the little, it's like a safety flag, but for revolvers, a little ring. You're gonna find these little, it's like a reverse Allen key. Nobody uses those, so we're just gonna toss it away. I will tell you what they are for, though. And then you'll go, oh, yeah, I can see why nobody uses them. You got your lock, and then you'll have, of course, your paperwork, propaganda, all that fun jazz. What is this, some sort of crossword puzzle? No, I'm kidding, it's your like warranty registration. You have all that stuff in the box there too. that pretty much concludes what's in the box. Oh, and it looks like we have one more thing here. We have a little baggie of moon clips, and I'll explain to you what those are if you, well, don't know what they are. Let's go ahead and set this box aside and jump into the specs on this bad boy. So the model of this is a 327. So it's a Smith & Wesson 327 Performance Center. This is a 357, but you can also shoot 38s, 38 plus P in there as well. It is a 8-round capacity. Look at this. Ooh. Look at that. That is awesome. This gun reminds me of like a bulldog. It's just wide, beefy, muscular, very handsome looking gun. And then it's like this big. It's just a meaty gun. I love it. 8 rounds. The barrel on this is 2 inches. And I'm going to tell you, this gun is accurate, like surprisingly accurate. When you think of a 2-inch barrel gun, I'll tell you why revolvers are actually quite a bit different in the way that they measure the barrels versus like a semi-automatic. So it's surprisingly accurate. The length on this is 7 inches. The height is 5 3/4 inches, 5.75 inches. And the width is 1.7 inches. And it is all cylinder, baby. Look at that. Look at that. How awesome. Oof. Yes. And the weight is just shy of 1 pound, 7 ounces. MSRP on this gun is $1,344. Now, what I have seen of these guns selling is they're going to be right in the range at about $1,250, right in there is what I've seen these sell for. They're very hard to find though. So when, you know, Northwest Armory got one of these, I had to jump on it right away because I had been looking for the little brother to my 627. So here is my 627 8-shot revolver, 5-inch barrel. This is a beast-ass gun. I love this gun. Shoots incredibly well. The trigger's incredibly smooth. This Performance Center, all the fun jazz. And I just wanted, like, you know, to round out kind of like the 357 revolver pieces that I wanted. And this was the kind of like unicorn that I couldn't find yet. So, ooh, found it, got it, love it. Let's jump into the range footage here real quick. Tell you guys my experience at the range. 3, 5, 7, and 10 yards. If you haven't seen this before, our goal is 5 shots in 2 seconds. All right, so at 3 yards, we had a 2.3-inch group. This is 4 shots, and then we had a little one fly up top there. I am not by any means sad about that.
God, this is a smooth shooting gun.
5 yards, 3.6-inch group, very nice. 7 yards, 6.1, 2 shots are down here. I know certainly I can get more proficient with this. It definitely, you know, it's not a long-range gun. I mean, look at this thing. Look at the sight radius. It's tiny. I know that you can definitely get proficient at this. And 10 yards, yeah, it wasn't on, you know, on the 0 there, but this group here was actually 3.6 inches. So, same size group as the 5-yard group. So, again, one of those things. I'll be honest with you, I didn't want to burn through a ton of ammo because ammo, 357, 38 special, is incredibly hard to find. Most places here in the Northwest, they're only letting you buy one of those boxes of ammo. Some places it's one a week that you can actually go in there and buy. So I didn't get a ton of time behind the trigger, but from shooting it, it was incredibly pleasurable.
It's a fantastic gun. I like everything about this gun.
Very little recoil out of the 38s. I did shoot the 357s. It is going to have more recoil, but with the amount of surface area that you get into your hand, you can get a really nice positive grip on this gun, and it just shoots amazingly well. I'm very, very happy with it.
So we're gonna do 2 38 specials, and then we're gonna do 2 357s. So that's what we're looking for, is the recoil here, and really showing the difference of that. Unloading the gun feels hotter with the 357, and definitely the recoil was more. Probably the best 357 snub nose that I've ever shot.
Of course, you always wish the barrel was a little bit longer, sight radius a little bit longer, whatever, especially if you're trying to, be accurate out at, longer distances quickly, I should say. Everybody wants that a little bit more weight, but for being such a small frame, this is an end frame gun, so it is the larger frame, but overall, being such a small size of gun, I should say, it just handles incredibly well. Plus, it looks awesome. The range master was like, what is that? Because I don't even know that he had actually seen one in person yet either. So pretty stunning, the aesthetics of this gun, just looking at it. Before I jump into breaking down the pistol from top to bottom, I had in my last Revolver review with the LCR, somebody said, hey, you need to make sure that you take your time with those shots. Everybody knows that Revolvers take time, and they're all about a well-placed shot. And I'm not saying that spray and pray is the you're maximizing the pistol performance when you spray and pray. But I do want to bring up something, and I understand, it's you want to have well-placed shots. The reason why we do the 5 shots in 2 seconds is because of this. The average sprinter runs at 15 miles an hour. And I'm not talking about Usain Bolt. He's a world record holder sprinter. He runs nearly twice as fast as the average sprinter. But the average sprinter runs at 15 miles an hour. And what that translates to is they're going to cover 22 feet in 1 second. So realistically, for that 357 and 10-yard drill, I should actually be shooting that in 1 second, right? Because 7 yards, 21 feet, this person's covering 22 feet in a second. Now, let's say the person looking to come do you or your family harm is not even the average sprinter. They're just the average human being. Well, an average human being runs at 8 miles an hour. That's still going to cover just under 12 feet per second at 8 miles an hour. So still, this drill is arguably too slow in that sense, because they're going to cover over 21 feet, over 7 yards in 2 seconds. The one that, yes, arguably you could say, okay, well, 10 yards, 30 feet, they're not going to cover 30 feet in 2 seconds. That's true. But at the same time, you have to understand this and take this with a grain of salt, because I am not a lawyer. I believe that anything beyond 7 yards, you are going to have a difficult time convincing a jury that what you did was self-defense, that your life was being threatened beyond 7 yards. So I can understand why somebody would say, hey, you need to, make sure that you're not just spraying and praying, but at the same time, if somebody's going to attack you, they're going to threaten your life, they're trying to end your life, I think that it's important for you guys to know, how is this going to react when you are shooting it quickly, or, relatively quickly, not quick enough, obviously, if that is the case, that you need to defend your life with this. And I will tell you that the recoil is very manageable with 38. With 357, it's obviously going to have a lot more kick to it, but nonetheless, I think that placing a good center mass shot with this gun, as you can see, even at the 10 yards is 3.6 inches, center mass, 7 yards even being a 6-inch group, still getting into that center mass, 5 shots, 2 seconds, and at least that's what we're trying to go for. I know that some of these were a bit over 2 seconds because, you know, this gun is it's not as smooth as some of these 9mm are. You know, you're getting the brunt of that recoil right into the center of your palm. But let's go ahead and break this gun down from top to bottom. All right, so what we're looking at here is the sights, and we have the orange vertical flag type of front sight there, and that you can replace if you wanted to do like a tritium or a round dot sight. You have some options out there. They're easy to find. The rear sight is milled into the frame, and the mill work is fantastic. Looks beautiful. I am not a huge fan, and I think if you've watched any of my other reviews, I'm not a huge fan of rear sights that are just straight black. I like something that's going to kind of break up the monotony there so you can really easily pick up the rear sight. So more than likely, because, well, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you've actually seen this gun up here on the gun wall, and I own this gun, just had to have it. So I'm going to probably do a little something aesthetically to this. That way I can pick up that rear sight faster, just because I want to have something that's going to break up that black rear sight there. So I'll do something a little bit different, but the machining is just superb. We'll start up here at the front. So this shroud, the barrel is stainless steel, but the shroud on this is titanium, and the machine work, you can see where it has like the 8-shot little symbol there, little logo, and then on this side it says 357 Magnum. Is fantastic, and the lines are awesome. Lines right up to the frame really well. I like that a lot. And also the cylinder is titanium, so it's really cool that these are cohesive in that regard. They both look very, very good. The machining is fantastic on it. While we're talking about the barrel, I might as well explain to you how they measure the barrels on a revolver, because it is different from what you would see on a semi-automatic. And this also ties into why I say this gun is quite accurate. All right, so you take a look here. This barrel is 2 inches. So from the back of the barrel, before the cylinder, to the end of the muzzle is 2 inches. That's how they measure a barrel on a revolver. The way they measure a barrel on a semi-automatic is from the back of the chamber to the end of the muzzle. So the bullet is going in to the chamber, and they're not measuring from the front of the bullet to the end of the muzzle. If you take that into consideration with the cylinder here, if you were to go from the end of the cylinder to the end of the muzzle, this gun essentially is like shooting a 3.5-inch barrel gun. Now, the cylinder is a separate piece, obviously, from the barrel. So the barrel is 2 inches, but the overall length from the back, where the back of the bullet would be, to the front of the muzzle on this gun is 3.5 inches. When we were shooting this gun at longer distances and not doing the 3.57 or 10-yard, little drill, but we had the gun in single action, shooting it out at about 60 feet, 20 yards or so. This gun is incredibly accurate. Very, very happy with that. Nice, steady, very accurate, especially with the single action right there. Just awesome. Awesome gun. So, if you didn't know, I guess, what, the difference was in how they measure out those barrels with revolvers, well, now you know. Hopefully you learned something. Comment below. Did you know that or not? Anyways, so where are we at here? Cylinder, titanium, barrel stainless steel, barrel shroud, titanium, awesomeness. The frame on this gun, let's talk about that, is a material called scandium, and scandium is very light. Smith & Wesson has been using this material on their airweights for a long time. It is proven to be sturdy, strong, reliable. The coating on this is fantastic. The only thing I would say Smith & Wesson kind of missed out on is there's a lot of real estate right here where they could have done something really cool on this pistol. So I wish they would have done something really neat. The controls, they're not ambidextrous as far as the, well, in regards to the cylinder release button here. It is on the left side of the gun. It's not ambi. The hammer, obviously, that's going to be ambi. The trigger is ambi too. Surprise, you know. But the cylinder release works very well. It's very easy to manipulate. While I have this cylinder open, let's go ahead and talk about these moon clips here. So moon clips are essentially a way, the semi-auto guys on this channel are probably learning a few things right now. This is cool. So the moon clips are a way for you to load 8 rounds into this, and normally you would keep it in a small pouch. And when you eject the spent casings, bam, they're all going to eject as one piece and come out. So more than likely, you know, these moon clips, they're inexpensive, they're cheap, so they're kind of designed for, like, if you did lose it, you're not going to cry about it. But now you can take a full moon clip and put it into the cylinder and load all 8 rounds at the same time. And yep, that whole the whole thing will go into the cylinder. It will stay as you fire the gun, and then when you're done, you'll hit that, the moon clip, all the spent shells are going to come out in one fell swoop. Very nice. The machining, of course, superb, to be expected. Even if you do load this individual rounds, they tend to come out just fine. You just want to make sure that you give this a nice firm tap to pop those out. But other than that, fantastic. Over here on the cylinder release, you will see a small little reverse Allen, and that's what these keys are. Now, I don't know anybody that owns one of these revolvers or a revolver that has these little keys and actually uses them. Some people do, some people don't. I don't know anybody. But essentially, it's a way to lock that. So you'll push the cylinder release forward, put in the key, and then you're going to lock the gun. Hopefully you don't lose this. And now it's essentially locking the hammer forward. So you can see this small piece of metal that is now sticking up there, and it's locking the hammer forward. Gun's inoperable, as you can see. And I mean, you can still take out the shells, but other than that, the gun's completely inoperable. To unlock that, you'll push the cylinder release forward again. You're going to turn that key clockwise. It's going to lower down that little piece of metal. Now, it's operable. That's how it works. You can also probably see why people don't use it. But for some folks, and the gun does come with, the lock right there too, which might be a little bit more convenient for you, or just putting it into a locking case, but it does come with that from the factory. The hammer and the trigger both have the color case hardening finish on them, and they look fantastic. It has kind of like that oiled look to it. Awesome. Of course, like I keep saying on everything on this gun, the machining is superb. Yes, it is in both ways. This is a Performance Center model, so the trigger is super duper smooth. We're going to do some trigger pulls right now on it, actually, so you can see that. Now, what I have, hammers forward, so this is in double action, so it's going to be a long trigger pull, but it's not like gritty or notch or anything like that. It's about 11.5 to 12 pounds on the double action. So let's take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and pull that back. Beautiful. And then, again, beautiful. When I shot that LCR, the Ruger LCR, one of the things is as I was releasing the trigger and looking for the reset, you would get this kind of false reset. So it'd click, but then there would be, it'd be like this. Nothing. What I'm finding is that the Smith & Wesson, not only does it have a smoother trigger on the pull, and it's very consistent. It's like the same way. It's 11.5 pounds, 12 pounds-ish, all the way through till it breaks. Beautiful. But on the reset, it's smooth, and then it actually kind of pushes your finger forward to make sure that you don't short stroke the gun. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. So nice, smooth. And then you can kind of see it kicks my finger forward. That's awesome. Oh, I love it. Now, my favorite part about the sound of this gun is the single action. When you pull the hammer back, listen to this. I'm going to do it again. Oh, yeah. How awesome is that? That's like the sound you hear in movies. Single action, it's about a 3.5 pound trigger. So watch, I mean, this is all back already. This is barely going to move. Watch this. Isn't that incredible? Show you that again. How sweet is that? Ooh, that's music to my ears. Love that. All right, and then last thing we're going to touch on here is the grip. There's only one thing that I didn't care for on the grip, and I'll show that to you here in a second, but the grips on this are beautiful. The laser etching, the Smith Wesson little logo there, the finger grooves. I mean, this is super classy. Look, the whole gun is very like a classic take on a snub-nosed revolver using all new modern technology and materials and refinement and machining, but they've kept this sweet grip. And I think I'm probably going to do that same grip on this. So, you know, it is completely like little brother, big brother type of thing. It is awesome. The thing I was telling you, I didn't really care for. Gosh, look at that. Look at the lines on this. Can you see that? Look at this grip. I mean, I love that rounded edge to it. I love that. Anyways, back here where the grip meets the frame, there is this funky gap right here. And I don't know why. I don't know why it's there. I don't see the purpose to it. It's not like you can put like a lanyard or anything like, you know, there's no, in my mind, there's no practical sense to that. But I wish that it was just a little bit more refined on that end. But that's me being picky. But at the same time, I mean, hey, we're looking at a $1,300 gun. I mean, guys, this is like, you know, you're almost kind of getting this gun so you don't have to do anything to it, and you're going to be incredibly happy with it. And don't get me wrong, I'm very, very happy with it. But small things like this, little attention to detail pieces, they're kind of a pet peeve of mine. You know, I just want that to be nice, smooth, you know. I want it to be $1,300 worth right there all the way through. So, hey, what can I say? But anyways, I want to say thank you so much again to the folks over at Northwest Armory. And I want to say thank you so much to the folks over at X-Hunt Targets. Again, if you do need to get a gun, visit nwarmory.com, order up the gun, have it shipped to your local FFL. If you need to get some of those targets, you should go there right after watching this review, xhunttargets.com. Buy up some targets. I think you're going to be really, really happy with them, especially here in the winter time. The targets are weatherproof, so they're awesome. And I do want to say thank you so much to our Patreon supporters, and I would love for you to go down into the comments, click on the link to our Patreon, and, you know, support the channel in any way that you can. You are why we are able to do what we are doing today, and we love doing this. So please support us through our Patreon account there, and it will also give you access to some extra content that you're not going to see on the channel, like going into rifles and things like that. And then, of course, you will have an ability to win some awesome prizes as well, picked by yours truly. So very excited. Visit our Patreon, support the channel in the best way that you can, and we greatly appreciate it. Other than that, you guys, thank you again so much. Hit that like, hit the subscribe, share the channel with your friends, family, and other enthusiasts, and we will see you next time here on the Concealed Carry channel. It's late, but we have things we need to do for the tube. For our subscribers.
Yeah.
Yes. And our Patreon supporters. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this thing done. So Sounds good?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good?
Yes, great.
Clapping it. Giving it the clap. Bang, bang. Audio's working. Let's go. Chopping. This needs to get edited. That's what I'm trying to say right now. Chop this out of... Edit that.
Yeah.
Finally, take 15. Twinsies. Oh. What am I missing? Ooh, I am missing a 357 lever action to go with these.
Oh boy.
Like a modern age 357 lever action. That's what I need. It's like the 2020 pandemic cowboy.
You know we're in 2021 now, right?
2021 pandemic cowboy. This is still as cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. That's another one.